It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigarbox Nation TV. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigarbox Nation TV. And we're coming to you live from CBGs. It's the Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
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 It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigarbox Nation TV. One moment, please. Technical. Everything's been moved.
Good.
But welcome to the Gitty Gang Show. We are back for our 102nd episode here on the lead into Labor Day weekend. There's our intrepid producer, Mr. Nick Lanciano.
Intrepid's a good word.
Intrepid is a good word. You might be hearing a slight difference this week. Did a little bit of rewiring, rearranging here in the Juke Shack so as to hopefully improve the audio quality a little bit. We are talking into
microphones,
vocal microphones. So instead of using the condenser mics that we've been using, we've got these. So let us know, especially, I don't know how much singing we're actually going to be doing today, me and Glenn. We've got a lot of awesome videos that you have submitted to us. We're going to be sharing some news to share, and we actually have the instruments plugged into the. Give them a little something on the bass there, Glenn. What?
Yeah.
I just realized one side effect of this is that I can't really hear you when the monitors are down. We're still getting this figured out. It continues to be DIY TV around here. Rick says we're echoing. Is there a second audio input on? Rob Roble says it sounds good. All right. Well, let us know if anything wacky happens.
Well, if you didn't think that we looked so awkward before,
Oh boy, this is
it's gonna get worse. I'm kidding.
already
It's a good
is
time.
getting
No,
worse.
it's a good time.
So new sound setup. We are kind of, well, at least I am. I don't know what Watt and Nick are doing, but I'm taking it a little easy this week because we are, of course, on the launch into Labor Day weekend here in the United States. I know if you're not in the U.S., it doesn't probably mean as much. For us here in New Hampshire, temperatures are starting to cool down a little bit, starting to feel a little bit of a twinge of fall in the air.
Yeah.
I know our good friends down under are likely coming out of winter and heading into spring as we come out of summer and head into fall here in the northern hemisphere. But, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
So thanks for joining us. A lot of folks, we sent out a newsletter earlier to announce the big CBGitty Labor Day sale and got an awful lot of out-of-office notifications bounce back on that. I think a lot of folks are already on vacation, but we thank you for joining us here today.
Now I see there, of course we want to say hello to everybody, but I see there on the East Coast, it looks like, of Florida, FL, is Helen Ringer Tiffany. She's going to be bearing, among, I'm sure, a bunch of you, but bearing the brunt of the ensuing storm. So Dorian.
Yeah, hurricane. Is Glenn coming through as loud as I am? I'm watching the audio bar there, and it seems like he's a lot quieter.
Well,
he tends to be quieter than I am anyway. But
nonetheless,
give us some feedback there in the comments, trying to get all this figured out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Florida are certainly in our thoughts. It looks like it's aiming for one of my favorite spots in Florida, around the New Smyrna Beach area. I've been on vacation a few times. So, yeah, hopefully it goes as good as it can.
It goes as good as it can. You got it.
So we've got, like I say, quite a few videos for you today we're going to be mixing in. We got Jim Morris. Bruce Norton submitted a video. Glad to see that from our buddy Bruce. Another one from Rev Todd over there at Primitive Guitars. One of the tidbits I wanted to share is that the 3-string mandolin thing giveaway guitar went out yesterday. It shipped out to David Douglas down in Texas. He was excited to hear that he had won, and it's on its way out. So they're saying we're all a little quiet.
Yeah, they're saying you're a little quiet over there.
All right, hold on to your onions, people.
Hold on to your butts. You know, I could well, no, that's not going to help because we don't have monitors. Dead air.
Well,
All right,
thank you
that
very
should
much
be
for the
a-
feedback. This is it's a big deal for us in all things that we do in this business. It's,
You know,
it's all helped when you give us feedback, both positive and sometimes negative. But
And I'm just noticing as the
Heating up.
level heats up that the sweatshirt choice. I got my new Gitty Gangster sweatshirt in, but it's a little too warm for it. So
let's
entertain yourselves for a moment.
If I had a ra-cha-cha style of music, I'd be playing it right now. I don't. But, oh, would you look at that?
Turns out,
Yeah, buddy.
got my other Gitty Gang shirt on.
This guy. I dig it.
So I turned it up a little bit. Marty says it's much better.
Awesome, man.
Thank you, Marty. All right, so just a few other things. I got to get used to having this microphone in front of my face all the time. Like I say, we've always used these condenser mics, but they pick up everything, and it's a lot harder to control the levels with them. So we're giving this a try. But there was a discussion on one of the Cigar Box Guitar groups today, last night and today. I think it was the Fretless group that Michael Pinkerton runs, our buddy. He might be out there right now, asking about our Juke Shack pickups.
A Juke Shack.
Just happen to have one here. If you don't know, the Juke Shack pickup are the ones, they're actually like jazz archtop style. This is one, the tab has been removed, but they're the ones that come with the little tab here that's apparently supposed to stick under a pick guard on an archtop guitar and stick out under the strings.
Nice.
But of course those tabs come off, leaving a nice, fairly low profile
Yeah.
pickup that can be used as a surface mount, or at least one that requires not a much shallower recess than like a full-size mini humbucker. But I believe it was James Barbella, I think, was asking, well, you need a mounting ring for that. So yesterday kind of came up with a mounting system here into which it fits on a friction, kind of a friction basis, nice and tight.
Well done.
But in so doing, I discovered what he actually wanted was like a trim ring to go around the hole that was made for it, and that these pickups are the same size as the chrome snake oil pickups, for which we already sell trim rings in 4 different thin hardwoods. So that's a little tidbit for today, that you can use the snake oil or the mini humbucker trim rings to go around these Juke Shack pickups.
Love it. Yeah. Nice work. And also made possible in part by feedback.
Yeah,
Which
well,
we appreciate.
You know, this design, I still think that this mounting ring system design has some merit beyond just use as a trim ring. So, but that was, developed and cut yesterday based on that discussion we were having on Facebook. So that's kind of cool, I
Yeah.
think. A couple of other things you've probably already heard and seen. It was posted about a number of times. It went out in a newsletter we sent. But the Pennsylvania Cigar Box Guitar Festival last Saturday, they did set. It hasn't been officially sealed or whatever by the Guinness Book of World Records, but they did have 268 confirmed players, cigar box guitar players in the ensemble to set the record for the world's largest cigar box guitar ensemble ever.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
268. I wish I could have been there for it, but yeah, good, pretty impressive. Thank you to everyone who participated, those who supported the Kickstarter campaign to help cover the expenses, Jim Lewin and Al Hamilton and John Bernick, who kind of organized the whole thing. It was really an awesome thing to see.
Right on.
And a milestone, I'd say, of sorts in the cigar box guitar world
Of course
and
it is,
community.
man. Getting that many people together at the same time to play music together, that's pretty rad.
Da-da-da-da.
Hey, exactly.
All right, well, let's run our first video here, which I believe is another one from our good buddy Jim Morris. I was actually just I had Jim's cigar box fiddle down off the wall, got it tuned up, and was trying to play a couple Irish ditties on it. Certainly a little more work needed on that front, but here's Jim Morris Showing what's he showing off in this one? How he radiuses a fingerboard? Yeah, some
That's the
good
one
how.
I'm-
Usually it's Jim playing an instrument, but this has a little how-to kick to it. So we'll see you again shortly.
Hello folks, I've had a couple questions about making your own radiused fingerboard for a fiddle, cigar box fiddle in this case. This is one I made out of a maple. Getting the radius is a little tricky, but oftentimes I'll use a Chinese factory radius fingerboard. They only cost about $10 and they're nice ebony, but I use them to try to match the radius of my homemade ones. So I'm in the process of making a fingerboard out of mahogany. I usually start with maybe about a 1/4 inch thick because it has to be still have thickness in the center when you take the side pieces off for the radius. And this piece is probably about 24 inches and it's just about enough for 2 fiddle fingerboards. So I'm going to show you the step-by-step process that I do to make that. Okay, I have my table saw blade set at 23 degrees, and I'm going to use that. I'm going to pass the mahogany piece through on both sides, like that and that, to take the edges off, and I'll show you how that looks in just a minute. Okay, here's the mahogany with 2 sides removed at 23 degrees, so you have 3 flat surfaces, one on top, one on either side. And what I'm going to do next is take a coarse rasp and just smooth that out. I'll be using the factory fingerboard as a guide, but I think this will be pretty close after I round these flat pieces off and try to make a nice curvature. In the past, I've taken the factory neck and just drawn a line there so I have something to go by. But I've gotten to where I can just sort of eyeball it and get it pretty close. So next comes the fun part of sitting down with a rasp and rasping away. That might take about an hour. Okay, I figured I'd show you some of the rasping process. I usually use 3 different rasps, starting with Nicholson coarse rasp. Then I move on to Dragon Rasp from Stuart McDonald. A little pricey, but man, are these nice hand-cut Dragon Rasp. And I finish off before sanding with a Super Shear. That's from Nicholson, and it gives a nice, smooth finish. So, a little bit of the coarse rasp. I've been at it for about 10 minutes here already, but let's see how I get it in the camera. Hold on. Right, so here we go. Just getting that flat edge off, making it rounded. I'll periodically compare it to the factory fingerboard from China. But right now, I'm just going for rounding it off. Okay, I'll stay at it for a little while here and show you what it comes up with. Okay, so after about 2 hours at work, the mahogany fiddle fingerboard is finished with a radius very close to that of the factory fingerboard. So that was the piece of mahogany with 23-degree angles cut on each side. And what we have here is the factory ebony Chinese fingerboard, which is very nice, and for $10 I'll probably continue using them. There's a shop-made maple fingerboard with the radius on it. And here's the one I just finished that I've been showing you. And it'll probably go on a cigar box fiddle that I'm in the process of working on. So I hope you enjoyed my little journey through radiusing a fiddle fingerboard. Thanks for watching.
Well, thank you, Jim, for taking the time to document how you put the radius on your fingerboards.
Yeah.
I know a lot of us, including me, I never really think about radiusing a fingerboard. Like this fingerboard, completely flat. Most of the fingerboards here are completely flat, but having that radius on there, turns out, does actually make them easier to play.
It does. You're right.
It's true. So thank you again,
Yes,
Jim,
Jim.
for
Thank
doing that. I saw actually my sister-in-law there, Gladys Marie Cook Crawford, saying she wants one of these shirts. Well, I just want to remind people that these shirts are available. It's a print-on-demand service. When you order one, they print it and ship it to you. You can find them at hobofiddle.com, HOBOFIDDLE.com. Hobo Fiddle, Gitty Gangsta shirts. They're available on there. That sweatshirt I was wearing earlier in all sorts of different colors and good stuff. Women, I think we got the women's T-shirt, the men's unisex T-shirt, all sorts of good stuff. So
Farley's female T-shirt version just came in the mail, so I'm happy about that. I
Well,
saw you out there, Farley. Hi.
hey, buddy. Mrs. Gitty, Mrs. Gitty Baker, shirt arrived for her today. Of course, Nick's back there wearing his. Dawn got one of the women's cut too, and
Nice.
she put it on, and I'd say it fits.
All right.
So, yes, good stuff. And just a reminder, newsletters have gone out. It's posted on Facebook and elsewhere, but we are running a Labor Day sale at cbgitty.com. And here's what's on sale. All of the books, songbooks, how-to books, all the books, posters and CDs and stickers and stuff like that, 25% off. All of our strings, that includes both the prepackaged sets that we do for Cigar Box Guitar and the bulk strings, 12 packs of individual sizes. They are all 20% off. And then a selection of kits, 9 or 10 of our favorite kits, both like tool, the scarf, the deluxe scarf joint miter, the fretting miter, the reso plate, license plate resonator, the mountain tenor, both varieties. Some of our favorite kits, all 15% off. That runs the whole weekend through, well, let's say Monday at midnight, with a buffer for those who like to wait till the very last minute and then get mad at us that they didn't get the discount. So all of those discounts, once you add items to your cart, that's when the discounted price ends up. So just a little bit of Labor Day celebratory fun there. Speaking of Labor Day celebratoryizing, I found something in the back of the Gitty refrigerator left over from St. Patrick's Day. I'm not sure how long Guinness is good for, but just long enough because
It's beer.
it's tasting all right to me.
I've had beer that's been 5 years old before. It's fine. It's fine.
When I was a much younger lad, I found a wine cooler at the bottom of a quarry pond in Marblehead, Ohio. I don't know how long it had been down there, but
I like your style.
anyway. So we've got more videos. I think we'll go right into the one from our buddy Rev Todd over at Primitive Guitars. And then when we return, I think it'll be time already for Watt Corner. Like I say, little bit of a slightly scaled back show this week. We're running the videos that you all submitted and throwing a little bit of our own stuff in there. But hey, it's a holiday weekend, people.
That's right.
You're going to be here working. All right, here's Rev Todd, and we'll be right back.
Gitty Gang and Cigar Box Nation. I'm Rev Todd. I build primitive guitars. Today I'm going to talk about strings. Not necessarily the gauges you should use and everything like that, although my answer to that is always lots of them. Like buy multiple different types of size strings and everything like that so you can play with them, because I found depending on the box you're using and the neck you're using and everything like that, maybe there's certain ones that work better. I have my choices just to instantly put on a guitar, but you can play with them endlessly. But what I do is buy the bulk strings from Gitty. I always buy the bulk strings from Gitty, and I buy lots of different sizes. Not necessarily exactly what I think I need, but I buy a lot in between. But even if you knew exactly what you wanted, just buy them, because it's a lot less expensive. You get a 12-pack, you're good to go for quite a while, I would assume. I don't like changing strings, although they sound really good when you do. I'm going to show you how I store them. And this is what I do. Okay, so one of the first things I did was I went out and I bought a watertight box. This one happened to say zombie on it, so I thought that was extra awesome. So that's the one I bought. But what she is basically a box that's got a seal inside there, and she's nice and watertight. This is how I store strings that I've actually opened up already. So since I buy them in bulk, these are all strings that are actually been opened. And so there's a big giant pile of them here. And I just use a clamp to keep them. They're all kind of cut up here in the corner like that and everything like that. So I keep that like that because I can wrap them back up and stick them down in. But what the important thing is this down here. This is actually a crystal kitty litter. But what it is basically the same stuff that's put in those packets and almost anything that they want to keep moisture out of. So it absorbs moisture amazingly well. So by keeping open packs of strings in a sealed container with something that pulls moisture out of the air, I can keep them fresh a lot longer than I could normally.
Hey. So who we got out there, Glenn Watt?
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Rev Todd, because that's another awesome video. That guy's putting out a lot of good stuff, especially on his YouTube channel. I think, what is it, Primitive Guitars, Nick?
Primitive Guitars. Yep.
Yeah. So check him out on YouTube, Primitive Guitars. I actually saw Del Puckett out there too. He's wearing a I can't see him picture-wise, but I think he's wearing his Gitty Gangsters T-shirt. Yeah, dude, that dude's rad. He's actually the guy that coined the Gitty Gangster term.
That is true.
So thank you very much, Del. It's not, I mean, it's great to have you in the community. It goes without saying, but we're super appreciative of the fact that you kind of got this ball rolling on what you see there on Ben's shirt and on Nick's shirt. And if Farley's still out there, she might be wearing hers. Speaking of Farley, she's right there.
Some people just like to wear themselves
wear
on their
pictures of
shirts,
myself.
whatever. I like to wear myself.
I like to wear myself. So, yes, Kimberly Holland, it is good to see you. Keith Rearick, Manitoba, Hal Broland. I think you, sir, have a ukulele building camp coming up soon. I hope that goes well, sir. Who else? Oh, we got Slim Jim, Roll Tide Bert. Rusty Taylor's out there doing his thing. And Shaq Collins, I hope you do get yourself a Gitty cap soon, because that'd be pretty rad. But,
Talking into a microphone.
Talking into microphones. So how is the sound? You guys digging it all right? I think I saw Rusty saying out there that he appreciates it. And on one of these breaks, Ben was mentioned that we may try another setup. This is still a little bit awkward to be doing this, but he may be trying a lapel mic. You've seen those, like a lot of YouTubers will wear those. I
just have to get the converter plugged so I can plug the lapel mics into the standard PA that you can see here behind me. Yeah. I was trying to figure it out earlier, and I don't have the right stuff, but
so
we'll get it figured out, because that's certainly a lot handier to not have to be tied to this thing. But, you know, like all of this, we figure it out as we go along.
I like it, though. I think hopefully the sounds improve for you. That's really the whole idea behind this. It's not so that we can have this thing in front of our faces, but nonetheless. So is it time already?
Is it time for Watt Corner? Yeah.
All right. Darn it.
There it is.
It was close.
Close.
All right. Well, sweet. Welcome back to Watt Corner. You know the deal. This is not a popularity contest. This is how we find really cool stuff that you do and try to share it with everybody else. And first up in Watt Corner, we have from Evan O. And I love, this is the kind of stuff that speaks to me, man. Like, I don't, no matter what, you can't help but smile when you see a bunch of kids who have built their own handmade musical instruments. And Evan O writes, he's over there in Cleveland, Ohio. I got the sweetest little oh my oh, Evan O.
There.
Yeah, I've heard rumors. And Evan O writes, over the summer for a camp, I helped 64 kids with their high school buddies. I believe the high school buddies are in the tan T-shirts. The younger kids are in the orange T-shirts. I helped 64 kids with their high school buddies to make these cigar box guitars. The project ended up being a huge success and a great memory. Now, this is not to toot our collective horn, but it's because Evan did his purchasing through us, and that enables us to be you might have seen me write something about this, but a small link in the chain that connects kids to handmade musical instruments. And that is awesome. And I saw Rusty out there talking with, I think, Slim Jim Burt in the comments about the possibility of them having a instrument building workshop at the 3rd Annual International Cigar Box Guitar Festival this September in Georgia. And I hope that you get that worked out, because that'd be pretty cool, Rusty, I got to admit. And for any other educators that are out there, if you'd like to do something like this, fulfilling, project-based learning type requirements in your school, you can certainly feel free to contact us here at CB Gitty, support at cbgitty.com or gwatt at cbgitty.com, so that we can set you up with a discount to purchase the goods that you would need in order to have a group learning environment like this. So thank you very much, Evano. I don't know if you watched the show, man, but you really made my day when you sent in that picture. Thank you. Next up, we've got from a heavy hitter on Cigar Box Nation nowadays. He's been around for about a year, or maybe 2. Portness Studios. Portness Studios was actually at this past York Cigar Box Guitar Festival, Pennsylvania, this past weekend. And about this picture, it's all good. No, I'm sure I did something funky. It's all good. All right. So about this picture, I'm going to keep going, though. Portness writes, "These are my first 2 CB Gitty Cigar Box guitar kits. It's the Tin Pan Alley kit, which was created by our own Nick Lanciano, and the Mountain Tenor." So the Tin Pan Alley, you will see, has the flame paint job. And we actually, I'm pretty confident we had this on the show when he first put this out, I don't know, 6 months ago or so. I had this on Watt Corner. And then also this Mountain Tenor is more recent. And he writes about them. "I leaned them up, these 2 guitars, up against the chicken fence when I went to go look for a good place to photograph them. When I went back to the instruments, I realized," writes Portness, "this is where they should be photographed. CBGs and chickens in front of chicken wire fence. What's more Texas than that?" Because Portness is a Texas native. Anyway, I just wanted to share this photo with the gang, and I'm glad you did, Portness Studio, because you, not only do you build awesome stuff, but you make our kits look even better. That's great. He's got in fact, he modified that Mountain Tenor kit, which is the Orin guitar on your right, with a deluxe rosewood. I'm sorry, Delta Bucker.
Yep.
Delta Bucker pickup.
Well, I chuckled when I saw this because we specifically designed the Mountain Tenor to be the acoustic kit, and then throw a humbucker in there. Why not?
Right. And if I remember correctly, that was that was a gift to him just recently, actually, that Mountain Tenor. So I think he did a great job. I don't know if you see this show, Portness. I think you do. I think you made a comment that suggests that you do. So I'm hoping that you're digging what you're building with the stuff that we get here. And if you don't know already, the Cigar Box Nation newsletter recently featured Portness Studios in all of the work, because he's not just a post and go type guy. He just doesn't slap a picture up somewhere and run. Like, that dude puts out some really seriously good, well thought written material that I really appreciate seeing. So if you want to go to cigarboxnation.com and check out Portness Studios page, he's got great blog posts. He's a great contributor, has great stuff to say to people in their own threads, and I'm glad that Shane highlighted him on the Cigar Box Nation newsletter. In fact, in yesterday's CB Gitty newsletter, we also showcased Portness Studios' recent lap steel build using CB Gitty parts. So awesome stuff. Thank you very much, Portness. You know I appreciate you, so thanks again, man. Now, next up, we got Tom T. Tom T. I can't do my funny voices because I don't know how loud it sounds on the microphone.
I do them anyway.
And they're not that funny anyway. So Tom T writes, "Always admired the Les Paul design, but it had too many strings and weighs a ton." Agreed. I decided to build a scaled-down version of this classic, complete with the carved top that you can see here. I think I cropped the image, so my bad. But the body is actually a piece of 1x4 pine, writes Tom T. The finish, which I just adore, is a combination of airbrushing and a brush-applied tiger maple effect. For you artists out there, I think you can appreciate that too. That's really good stuff. But here comes the next best part. Everything is hand-polished shellac, but the body is 67% the size. I don't know how he came up with that. 67% the size of a 6-string Les Paul. The scale length is a very usable 24 inches. We've discussed short scale length guitars here on the show. And the guitar is a slider on which the fret lines are drawn using a silver metallic Sharpie. Genius, man! Because I don't know if you know, those silver metallic Sharpies pop really well on wood. I use them actually over here in the electronics department when I'm doing stuff. But this has quickly become his daily player. I don't blame you. I think he actually drew those Gibson-styled fret markers, those kind of crownish fret markers as well with the metallic Sharpie. So Tom T, if you're out there, thank you very much. I was really excited to see this and share it here. So you really did awesome work. Next up, I'm sorry.
Just wanted to shout out Portness is watching out on YouTube.
Bornis. And yeah, who else? I'm sorry, Nick. Who else we got on YouTube?
Oh, we'll come after
All
Walk
right.
Corner.
All right.
Don't
let me
interrupt the Walk.
Corner.
I know, but I'm sorry, it's so low energy too, because I can't.
Oh,
Move,
Nick.
I can't
what
move
do you-
around and shake.
Yeah, we're gonna fix that,
'Cause
folks. He's
I'm-
got to be able to flail and gyrate.
Got to jam this thing into my face.
Gyration.
All right, Carl G's up next. I'm sorry, Carl G. Carl G has for you.
We're having fun.
Carl G has for you some pictures that he sent in via email. It's got this funny. Look at this thing. So, in the next picture, actually, that you see, I just want to show that one first. But in the next picture, he writes, "The pics show a mortise through neck with a slotted end." So you can see here, that's the heel of his neck, entering the guitar. And then in the next picture Nick has for you, he writes, "The slot allows you to raise or lower the neck at the mortise," the slot's in the tail end. "The slot allows you to raise or lower the neck at the mortise in relation to the strings, so you can have the strings closer for playing chords or drop the neck for more clearance if you're using a slide." And he, at the end of the neck is a hanger bolt and a wing nut. "It's not revolutionary," writes Carl G., which I think is really cool anyways, "but allows the use of one instrument for dual playing styles." And I thought that was just, and here's the deal, like, he may be right. Maybe it's not revolutionary, but it's just clever. And I love that about I mean, I know that it happens in a lot of different communities, but the CBG community has men and women who are just so clever and just so willing to share the kind of stuff that they come up with freely. Just, hey, I'm just check this out. I'm not looking to trademark it or anything. Just look at this thing I've done. Maybe you'll like it. And that's what I love about this community. And I really dig what you've done there, Carl G. So thank you very much for sharing that. And we got a couple more for you. And the next one up here is Robert G. And he writes of this beautiful CB Gitty kit. The CB Gitty Tupelo tenor kit was a whole lot of fun putting together. I'm gonna stroke this guy's ego to my left that he can't see off screen, because he's always writing awesome instruction manuals and knows that it's the most difficult part of any kit, but he always does a great job with them. So the kit was well thought out. Thank you, Ben. And the materials are of good quality. Thank you, Ben. The assembly instructions were well done and easy to understand. Thank you, Ben.
Oh, stop.
I'm putting the thank you Bens in there, but this was my first time building a musical instrument and was thrilled when I finished, and it actually sounded good and worked. In fact, I love how it sounds, writes Robert G. It has its own unique tone like nothing else in my collection. The action is just high enough for a slide and for fretting. Didn't need to make any adjustments for that. Awesome. And the next image that Nick has for you, he writes, same guy, Robert G, writes, "I got this finished in time, this kit finished in time for the York, Pennsylvania Cigar Box Guitar Festival this past weekend, and to be a part of the Guinness World Record attempt for the most CBGs played at the same time. That was an absolute blast," writes Robert. "There were hundreds of super cool folks and hundreds of CBGs all in one place. One of the best days ever," which great feedback. "And I'll definitely be buying more Gitty kits." Thank you very much, Robert. "In the future, thanks, CBG, for all the kits available. You are awesome." And I just want to say that's awesome. I'm glad to see that you have the missus with you, Robert G. I hope that's the missus, and if not, this got to be a really awkward walk corner. But really good stuff, and I'm glad that you had a great time in York, and I think it's just really cool that you were part of a world record setting type thing. I know Jim Morris was out there doing it, Louis LaManna, Magic Daddy. So if you're all out there, good on all of you, and I'm really psyched that you shared that with us, Robert. Thank you. And last up, this guy that I just can't seem to, I don't know, I keep gushing over this guy, Jim Morris, Back Porch Banjos. He's in there. He's that handsome one that's standing up next to the fence there with the sweet snowball on his chin. And he writes about this Thursday before the Pennsylvania Cigar Box Guitar Festival. That's when this picture was taken. This group of local York students, York is the town, York students, along with their parents, learned how to make and play a one-string cigar box guitar. They also came on Saturday for the festival and were part of the Guinness Book of World Records event. And Jim Morris, you just continue to impress the heck out of me and the rest of us. So I know Nick's got a couple more images of Jim here, and I just wanted to pass those along. Here's Jim working with those students that Thursday before the Saturday of the event, doing the good work. And in this last image, you'll see a Jim coming up. There's that handsome man doing his thing, just putting together some instruments with kids, and just pass along that joy of DIY, of handmade musical instruments, of making your own art, of learning how to play music, and doing it the folk style way. And I think that's really great stuff. So that's been Walk Corner. Thank you very much, Jim. I'll do it.
He'll do it, folks. He's a professional. Well, thank you, Glenn. I just want to say about the Tupelo tenor. Nick, didn't you play a role in that how-to guide?
I think I took the pictures.
Yeah, it was a team effort.
I apologize.
I love praise as much as the next person.
I know I built a lot of them when
but-
they were.
the 3-string, the 4-string, and then the the mountain tenor. Nick has done a lot of kit building.
Yes, he has.
Well, somebody said I thought I saw something about playing a song for Labor Day, and we did not rehearse this, but I do have one. At least here in this country, in America, and I believe in the other industrialized countries as well, you know, the Labor Day celebrates and memorializes the struggle for labor, for workers' rights and safety and all of that. You know, back in the day, things weren't so good. You know, and if you complained about working conditions, well, there's 5 guys behind you ready to take your job. So, you know, you just put up with it. But during some of the harder times in this country, the Great Depression and some of the other depressions and downturns, you know, there were a lot of people out of work, looking for work. And there wasn't so much in the way of social safety nets back then. So this is a song. Hopefully you can hear the guitar. This is a song written by a man named Joe Hill, who was one of the big agitators and organizers of the labor movement back in those early days before being executed by the state of Utah. And it's a rewrite of an old Christian hymn. Goes like this here. Let's see if I can remember it all. Long-haired preachers come out every night, try to tell you what's wrong and what's right. But when asked about something to eat, they will tell you in voices so sweet, you will eat by and by in that beautiful land in the sky. Work and pray and live on hay. You'll have pie in the sky when you die. At the Salvation Army they pray, and they sing and they dance and they play. But when they've got all your coins on the drum, they will tell you when you're on the bum, you will eat by and by in that beautiful land in the sky. Work and pray and live on hay. You'll have pie in the sky when you die. Holy rollers and jumpers come out, and they roll and they jump and they shout. Give your money to Jesus, they say, and you will eat on that glorious day. You will eat by and by in that glorious land in the sky. Way up high, work and pray and live on hay. You'll have pie in the sky when you die. That's a lie. That's actually one I learned from listening to Utah Phillips, who was himself a organizer and agitator. So just a little blast from the past there about one person's view of what life on the street was like in the early days. So nothing heavy, Kata. All right, we got a couple more videos for you, I believe. One from Bruce Norton. Then we might go right into the next one, which is our buddy William Edward White, showing off a White Owl guitar. So here's a couple of good things for you.
Hey guys, just want to take a second, steal the spotlight for a moment. Give a shout out to those of you that are that are watching over on YouTube. We got Rick Stevens, always see his name coming up on there. We've also got Michael Capatos watching us over on YouTube because generally the audio and the video quality is a little bit better over there.
Oh, your mic is low, Nick.
Is it really low?
I'm going to fix it.
Fix me right up.
There, he's louder.
Ha and then we've got Sue Macias out there. Portis, obviously. And then Mike Adams. And Bruce Norton is out there as well.
Hey, Bruce.
So thank you guys for
Just saw his own
joining
video,
us.
Yeah,
hopefully.
man.
Yeah, buddy.
Great job on that
And
guitar.
here's Ben and Glenn.
That's
Well,
awesome.
What if we got left?
We got really good people out there. That's what I know we got. We got Del Puckett out there being kind with his compliments. Same thing with Shaq Collins. Thank you very much, everybody, for being so supportive and nice to each other. That's really good stuff.
It is. Once again, want to wish everyone a happy Labor Day weekend. If you celebrate such things here in the United States, for our international friends, I know Shaq Collins over there in Jacksonville.
Yep.
I don't think
Jacksonville.
getting a Labor Day weekend this weekend in jolly old England,
Yes.
right? Yes.
All right.
So yeah, buddy. Well, we've got one more video. I wish we had a segment to fill in here in between the videos, but I ain't gonna lie, folks. I was gonna play the fiddle, but I tried it and it didn't work out. So we've got Bart B, a video from Bart B, and do we know what he's showing off here?
Yeah, actually, I got a little bit here. I think.
Glenn's
Bart
got
B
some
writes
notes on it.
about this. I did my first show at the Art Ovation Hotel in Sarasota, Florida. Another Florida native. I hope that you guys can doing all right out there. I had 25 guitars and 2 banjos for that show. You can see an image on this guitar that he's going to be playing. It is Frita Bagel. That's her real name, he writes. Showed me a self-portrait she'd done in a Picasso style, and I asked her if I could put it on a guitar. So she sent me a pic, and then Bart B's mom put it on the guitar, the cigar box for him. He put a thin humbucker under the lid, a wicked bucker, in fact, under the lid so as not to compromise the art, and he
Nice.
loves the sound. And I'll tell you what, when he plays this, I think you're going to too. So thanks for checking this out.
I've never tried that. Have you?
Nope.
Putting the
Nope.
magnetic pickup under the lid.
I've seen it done.
You know, as long as
Plenty.
the strings aren't too high, and I guess you might have to crank the gain a
Crank
little
the gain,
bit more than you otherwise would. But yeah, clever stuff. All right, here you go.
I'm pretty excited about this guitar that I finished today. It's a collaboration of 3 different artists, if I can count myself. The lady that originally drew this painting, it was a self-portrait with a little Picasso bit in there where her eyelashes are actually on the outside of her eyeglasses, and her name is Frita Bagel. And she sent me her picture, and then had my mom, Lou Blankenship, copy that onto a cigar box, and then I made it into this guitar. And I think it's a really, really fun cooperation or collaboration with 3 artists.
There at the end with the volume knob,
nice.
it looks like.
Nice.
So thank you for sending that in for us, Bart. That's good stuff,
It is good
and
stuff.
We appreciate it. I saw Janice Wilson Hughes out there saying she's working on her U bass.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with U basses?
Only actually from her conversations with a couple other guys,
I
like
need
Jim Burton.
I need to. I want to try to make one ideally, or get one, because it's a cool concept. And then of course figure out how to make a homemade kit for one too.
Nice. I did want to say I saw that in Bart B's video, that last video that you saw, that he was playing with a Evolution Stoneware slide.
Oh, who makes those?
I don't know. That was a Janice Wilson Hughes. it turns
J-Dub!
out. Hey, J-Dub. And it turns out still an awesome slide. He's playing the sage green version, one of the slides that I own from that young lady. So
Nice.
good stuff. Yeah.
Well, I need to do a little more work with the tone bar. The lap steel I played last week on the show is sitting forlornly over on the other side of the stage, and I was thinking finding a song that it would go well on. Of course, we redid the Gitty Gang theme song last week and tried that out on it. But there's some other songs.
Oh, let's get some honky tonk stuff in here. Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. I was just telling Glenn while the last video was running, I've started practicing and playing my mandolin again at home, relearning some of the Irish tunes. I'm thinking about taking Jim Morris's Cigar Box Fiddle home and seeing if I can at least get it to not get me. It sounds fine, but to get me playing it to not sound quite as horrible. This is kind of, I'm on a hiatus from like songbooks and tablature and stuff. I'm hoping to get back into that in the fall. Well, we're almost to the fall, but a little later in the year. Right now, all of the songbooks that I've made over the last 2 years, about 20 total books, believe it or not, over the last 2 years. Songbooks, how-to books. We got the Canjo how-to guide, the fretting how-to guide, and other things. And I've got a lot more to do. I'll get back into that. But for right now, I'm kind of focused on re-upping some of my instrumental game. Not that it's all about me, but anyway.
Hey, you play a lot of instruments and you're doing really well, so keep at it.
Just yesterday, one of the reasons for this rework of the sound setup in the Juke Shack is to make it easier to record from the stage, like to record tracks. I put a little track together yesterday of a song I wrote for my buddy Charlie Boyle. It's kind of fun, but
it's really
not
good.
Playing it today yet. It needs a little more work.
It's good.
Well, I think that's about all we got for you.
I think Nick's got a little video lined up. Is that not what I say? No, never mind.
You can find it on the Gitty Facebook page. It's a little animated ad that Shane put together for the Labor Day sale, which is going on through Monday night. 25% off all books, posters, CDs, the music albums, all that good stuff. 25% off. 20% off all string sets and bulk strings, and then 15% off some of our favorite and most popular kits. So take advantage of that.
Where can people get one of those rad T-shirts that you and Nick are wearing?
Wow. At hobofiddle.com is where the Gitty Gangster shirts and quite a few of the other most popular shirt designs we've done are available over there.
Nice.
As I've explained before, created the separate site just for these special shirt and accessory designs because they kind of get lost on cbgitty.com. So check out hobofiddle.com. I hope to be adding more and more good stuff on there. Some previous designs that we've had and some new stuff, all sorts of good things. So
now go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Nice. So I think we got a couple of festivals coming up, don't we?
I just know about the one, this Georgia International 3rd Annual Cigar Box Guitar Festival, September 27th and 28th in beautiful McDonough, Georgia.
Nice. I think there's also, maybe not, anyways, there's another one also in, I believe, September 15th. Yeah, I know. But I believe it's in Germany. And I think I saw Wim out there earlier, WIM, who was mentioning it as well. Maybe it was the Netherlands that he was mentioning. I apologize, Wim. I believe you were mentioning the Netherlands have a Cigar Box Guitar Festival coming up. And I think on cigarboxnation.com, under the Events tab, which is at the top of the page on the far right of the screen, under the Events tab, you can find what's coming up, just in case you don't hear it here. And I believe that, like I said, that one of the next festivals is September 15th, but probably definitely September. In Germany. So if you're out in Germany, then check it out.
I don't think I'll be able to make that one. All right, well, we're going to try the end song here, the Gitty Play Out song, with Glenn on the bass, me on the 6th string, which I don't usually play for this. I've got the hobo fiddle right behind me. It's been ready to go this whole time.
All right.
This whole time, just sitting there in the wings, ready to go. But I'm going to try it on this 6-string Coke crate.
Nice.
Hopefully, it'll be all blended and balanced and all that stuff. All right, lead us off, Glenn.
All right.
I bet maybe they can actually hear the bass because it's plugged in direct to the PA.
Shaq's got a workshop tomorrow. What's that all about, Shaq?
Gotta watch for the changes. Well, it's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. Said the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. And we came to you live from CBGs.
That this sounds a little bit like a Carl Perkins type thing. That rockabilly feel.
He cut us off. Can you believe that, people? We were still... Actually, I think we are done now. So have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you again soon.
Happy Labor Day.